Hi.
You know, the point is that you're supposed to speak, so please
Okay,
say at least
sorry.
hello.
Hello, my name is Daniela.
All right, Daniela, what do you study and how old are you?
I'm 29 years and I study psychology at the UCB.
You're 29 years.
29, no, 19, sorry.
All right, I was a bit surprised by the number. All right, now 19 sounds better, indeed. Well, who's next introducing himself or herself?
Well, my name is Maria Veronica. I'm 21.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, I'm
Where do you
sure.
study?
I'm studying architecture. I'm changing major right now, so it's kind of complicated.
Cool, cool. Well, who's the last person who's waiting to introduce herself?
Hi, my name is
Hi.
Barbara Acevedo, and I am studying UPEL.
Oh, teacher.
All right. Well, thank you all for confirming to this chat. You're gonna have a lot of fun talking about different fields. In this case, American politics, as you can actually see on the slide. Can you see the
No,
slide, by the way?
this is so boring.
Then get the hell out of here. What? Can you see the slide?
Yes, I can see
Yeah.
it.
Good. Then let me ask you already. What do you know about American politics? Know anything about United States politics?
Well,
Yeah,
the only thing.
okay.
Sorry. Talk.
Talk to you.
Okay. Well, the only thing that I remember is that every state have like his own kind of politic is auto is independent in their own in their in their own politics.
Sorry, I think I didn't get what you say. Could you
She meant
reformulate it?
I
every
mean,
state
I mean,
is okay.
Not
Sorry.
all at the same time.
I mean, for example, in Venezuela, is like a only government for every state, but in USA, it's like every state is a little with their own politics.
Oh,
Uh,
you mean that there's a federal system? All right, yeah, that's true. Anyone else can contribute somehow with American politics on what they knowledge?
so
I know. Okay. Sorry. Uh, I'm going to talk. I know that when they're doing elections, they have like to a system that is called winner takes all, and the elections there are for me because are like second grade. I think that's the definition, but you vote for people that will vote for the president, and that's interesting for me.
All right, that's true, but I'm curious, why do you find that interesting?
I don't know because I came from Venezuela and it's
Of
very
course.
rare to vote for someone that will vote for you. I mean, you want to do it like you everything, and I think it's just another. for elections.
All right, fair enough. I think we have a new member arriving, which is Sioris. Sioris, can you introduce yourself and please name your age, career, what you study, and what do you know about American politics?
Okay, hi. I listen. Yes.
Yeah, I can listen to you.
Okay, perfect. My name is Rabel. I study medicine in the UCB. I am 24 years old. I don't know what's other. I don't know.
All right, you don't know anything about American politics, that's fair.
No.
Well, let's proceed. So, let's begin with the players. Just like Venezuela, who happens to have politicians in both sides, government and opposition, well, the USA has them as well. The thing is, these players are oftenly distributed into great parties, the Republican
Uh,
Party and the Democratic
sorry,
Party.
sorry. I think you didn't introduce yourself.
My name is Mariano. I study mass media at the UCB. I'm terribly, terribly boring in my chat. Any other question?
No.
Thanks. Let's proceed. Now, going back to the players. I was, conservative and Republican. That is pretty much like the mood, and the PSUB. It's the two main opposite parties standing in politics.
Oh, I
Good thing-
know. Democrats
What?
and who are sorry,
Republicans?
are Republicans in the debates.
Yeah, they're
I
funny.
didn't pay attention.
You know, because
Yeah.
basically in the USA there are debates, not like here that we don't have those things. But essentially, just for you to get an idea, Democrats are like the lefties in the USA, while conservatives are Republicans. So that is pretty much how it's organized. There had long been a lot of leaders standing for both parties, and in fact, both parties have effectively run the government, have effectively won presidencies, and it's pretty much a bipartisan system. Do you know what bipartisan means, by the way?
And
It's a democratic system when two political parties are the main players. So,
I wanted to say like, then I can't just do it.
anyway, who can read this slide that is on the
Me.
screenshot right now?
Me.
Go ahead.
Okay. The players, sorry. American politics has been nominated by multiple personalities. Many of them have come to present different points of view in several fields.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. For instance, Hillary Clinton is considered an specialist in foreign affairs. Foreign
Alright.
affairs. John McCain has long been a hawk in the Senate, defending a strong military policies. Presidents tend to identify themselves with a major cause, choosing to be some sort of a legacy. For instance, Ronald Reagan stands for the regulation policies in economy, and Barack Obama has led a major change in U.S. foreign policy.
All right. Tell me, guys, do you know any of these figures that are in the slide? Any of the people with the images there?
Obama.
What?
Well, I know Barack Obama.
All right. That's a start. Anyone else?
Uh, Bush.
All right. Very
Yes,
well.
I know. There is John McCain too.
Hold on. There's no other guy here. Ah, Miguel, you arrived.
Yes, hello.
Well, welcome, Miguel.
Miguel, you have to introduce yourself.
Yeah, you have to. So please proceed, Miguel.
And the
Hi,
other
good
guy.
evening. My name is Miguel Velasquez. I'm 22 years old and I'm studying materials engineering at the USB.
Very well, Miguel. So you were telling us that you know people here, John McCain.
Yes,
How do you know John McCain?
because he was the rival of Obama in the elections. I first heard about him because of the elections against Obama, and
Okay.
because he recently was that I don't know how to say this, diagnosed, diagnosticado,
Yeah, diagnosed.
diagnosed with brain cancer. So I saw his photo recently.
Is it that?
Well, he's old and he's dying. That is normal. And but in any case, interesting. We have someone who actually read news. Congratulations for you, Miguel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miguel. You are strong enough to read news in this country.
So, who wants to read about the Congress? Anyone?
I can read.
Go ahead.
The American Congress is confirmed by two chambers, the Senate with 100 members and the House of Representatives with 475 members. Both chambers are responsible of the legislation in the nation. The Senate also has the function of confirming most of public offices, nominations, and promotions.
All
Also,
right.
in Congress, President of the Senate, Vice President of the United States, Speaker of the House, minority leader, and chief whip.
All right. Let's explain this. Well, unlike Venezuela, who has a one and only National Assembly, who has barely 167 deputies, the United States has two chambers working on the legislation matters. One is the Senate. It is pronounced Senate, by the way. I heard you, Miguel, and also I believe what Daniela said it wrong. But anyway, Senate. And the Senate is a group of legislators who essentially are elected every 6 years, while the House of Representatives are elected by districts and they barely hold 2 years in office. You need the approval of both chambers in order to pass a law, a bill. And the Senate alone also has the function of approving or denying the nominations the president does to his cabinet. That means that, for instance, if Miguel was the president of the United States and he wanted to appoint, I don't know, Maria Veronica as the Secretary of the State, then he will have to send the nomination to the Senate, so the Senate will decide if Maria Veronica fits to be the Secretary of the State. It's not like Venezuela, where you can actually change the ministers like they were, I don't know, cards in a shuffle deck. Any question till here?
No.
No.
Now, a couple of another infos. Yes, the vice president elected of the United States also holds as the president of the Senate. That means that he is the one who moderates the discussions on that house. The Speaker of the House is the president of the House of Representatives. But there are also another informal offices. A minority leader is the leader of the minority party in the chamber. Democrats, does lose the majority of the chamber, for instance, the Democratic leader of the party would be the minority leader, and the majority leader is the opposite, the winning party. And chief whip is basically someone who calls a party to vote. That's all. Any questions still here? Any doubts with vocabulary?
I have a question. I know that US exists a figure that is called running mate. I don't know if it's only another way to tell the vice president. I don't know.
Could you repeat? I somehow lose your audio at some point, so I didn't get the question. Please repeat.
Know that there is a figure running mate. But I don't understand what he does. It's another way to call the vice president or not.
Public mate.
Running.
I mean,
Sorry, running mate.
what? Repeat. I'm not getting the word.
Right.
Yeah, I will. Let's see. Running mate. Yes, a running mate is someone who runs with you for an office. There are offices that necessarily require not one but two candidates. For instance, the presidency of the United States. To be president, you need a vice president, which means that if you're a candidate for the presidency, you need to have a running mate to be your vice president. That's for it.
Okay.
Let's go with another institution. I just switched the slide. Please let me know when you see the new slide.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. The Supreme Court is the ultimate, legal authority of the nation of the decisions. Settle. I don't know pronunciation. Settle.
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 Settle. Okay. National presents and are legal reference for all the 50 states.
50.
It's confirmed by 9 judges. I don't know.
Judges.
Judges. Okay. Who receive the common
Yep, receive.
the common leader of the justice.
Title.
¿Cómo? Sorry?
Title.
Title. Okay. Title of the justice.
Of justice.
Justice. Okay. And who are specialist in
Specialized.
Specialized in constitutional law. They often had long current in the U.S.
Arrears.
Okay. In the U.S.
All right.
Justice systems.
All right.
Okay.
Who else wants to read?
Continue. No.
Not everyone at the same time. Yeah, you will continue them.
Oh!
Sorry.
But what's that? Oh my god.
Sorry.
I have headphones and it sounded like a
What
shot.
the hell happened?
Like a gunshot.
All right. So, anyone who hasn't read, please finish the lecture.
Sorry. I don't know pronunciation favorito in English. Okay, sorry.
Cracking fire. I think it was something like that.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's British, but I'm not sure.
Sorry.
Well, I'm realizing Diana arrived to the chat club. Diana, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Well, you will introduce yourself, and after that, you will also read the missing paragraph we have in the slide. Please go ahead.
Okay, my name is hi. My name is Diana. I'm 19 years old and I study psychology at Metropolitan University. The night judge are the main interpreters of the U.S. Constitution. They have the power to spare con I don't know how to say that
Controversies.
controversies about the legislation. To be judge of the Supreme Court, the person
Sorry, I just moved the slide.
don't worry, the person must be nominated by the President of the United States and needs to be confirmed by the Senate.
Senate.
Senate is a permanent office.
All right, so there are 9 guys in the USA who are basically long-term servers for the public function of lawyers. These guys are the Supreme Court. But why they are long-term servers? Because once you get the nomination and the Senate approves you, then you will remain the rest of your life in that office. Yep, until the very end. So,
Oh my god.
yep, you thought democracy was just pure and all about elections. No, it's not only about that. You have these 9 guys voting every day about different cases that matters for all the nation. Why the cases they vote are of importance for the nation? Quite simple, because at the moment the Supreme Court makes a decision about something, that decision becomes a precedent. For instance, a couple of years ago, the Supreme Court chose to approve the gay marriage in the United States, ruling out a case that was about someone who wanted to effectively get married with a guy with a guy. And after the Supreme Court made that decision, it became mandatory for the whole nation to accept those types of marriage. That is the level of power the Supreme Court has. They interpret the U.S. Constitution. They run.
If I being Chavez here.
Pretty much. So it's like the TCJ here in Venezuela, but imagine that those judges will last forever until they die. Pretty much that.
And isn't it like a system for corruption? I mean, is it bad?
Well, it depends, because since you need to be confirmed for the Senate to effectively take the position, it's quite hard that you actually do not. I mean, it's quite hard to reach the position. You have to be highly experienced in law and constitutional law, not only in common law. And also you have to have certain features, certain characteristics. You need to be experienced. You cannot be part of any political party. There are several implications there that avoid corruption and debauchery and destruction and disaster in that institution. But yeah, it's a long-term office, and many people criticize that actually.
And what happens if I know someone there want to renounce or want to resign? Resign is the name.
Well, they can actually. It can be done. You can resign to the position as Justice of the United States, and it will. I mean, if you want to resign, then you just resign, and someone will replace you. But if you don't, you die being a justice. That's it.
Oh my god! I thought that it was death or anything. You to keep that. I don't know why.
There are things in the world that are surprising. Let's go with the next one. This is pretty much the most famous. Please let me know when you see the slide.
I see it.
Very well. Who wants to read the presidency?
Me.
Go ahead.
Okay, the presidency. Surely the most famous public power of the country, the presidency of the state of the United States of America is the one office which holds the ex- executive executive fac- faculties of the nation. The sitting president is the commander-in-chief of the U.S. Army, holds the responsibility over the economic, domestic, and foreign policies, and has authority over the general at- attorney attorney of the
Attorney.
nation, attorney of the nation, and the 17 members on his cabinet.
All right. So I'm sure most of you, presidency of the United States. What have you heard about it?
He was rich before being president.
What?
He has a lot of companies.
Oh, you mean the current
He,
president, Donald Trump?
yes.
All right.
Are we
Well, yeah,
talking
that
about
is.
him?
Yeah, well, I asked about
Well,
in general, the presidency, but yeah, he is the current holder, so you can speak about it.
and everybody hates him. I don't know how he won.
Not everybody, because he won.
What can I say?
People vote for him, but they don't love him. They all vote for him because the other option was Hillary Clinton, and I think Hillary have some corruption issues that, that may her a worse option for some people. So in the end, I think that it's not like here, for example, Chavez, that everybody believe that
Nah,
story is most like they have to and have to take one. And I think that they
You know, back when I first made this chat, Donald Trump was not already president. He was running for the presidency. And I actually said that he was going to win because essentially, that you say, that Hillary Clinton was perceived as a worst option. So, yep, things end up being that way. Nowadays, we have recently a new poll show up that he actually only has like 18% of approval in the USA. He is the most unpopular president in history, something like that. So he's not doing things well, clearly.
I
Now,
don't know how people can vote for someone like him. I don't know.
well,
I How can be Hillary Clinton the worst option?
why you say so? You think Hillary Clinton was a better option?
Yes, I would prefer vote for Hillary Clinton than him.
Why? Tell me why.
I really don't know. I'm not an expert in the thing in the topic, but I know that Donald Trump is a person that I don't know. He don't have education. He only rich and it's kind of racist.
yeah,
So
and
I
and
think
also
that's sufficient is enough.
yeah,
Sorry, that's enough, and I wouldn't vote for him.
All right, all right. Anyone else wants to speak something about the presidency or the current president?
I miss Obama. Have any of you ever uh, American talk shows with Obama or Michelle? I love them. Every politician in the world, but I love them both. I don't know. I recommend the one in which Michelle was actually in that time. Barack Obama was giving the presidency to Trump, so it was like one of the last days of Michelle being how is it called, a first lady, and she went to Ellen, and it was very funny because Ellen was trying to teach her how to be a normal person again, and it was funny. They're both lovely personality and in the world, like I love them.
So you're an Obama lover. Nice to be.
Yeah.
I
I
think
actually,
Donald Trump represents the worst
Yeah.
of the United States. And those days I watched a YouTube video from the JQ magazine. It's a show run by Keith Olbermann, and he was talking that there's a high chance that Trump could be impeached this year or the next year. Well, it's more probably than the next year. Uh,
well, this year is almost over.
exactly, the next year. So there's like seven reasons he proposed in order to achieve the impeachment of Donald Trump, because he has like a lot of mistakes. He has committed a lot of mistakes in just 1 year.
Well, time will give us the answer, I guess. That is, by the way, a good word that Juan Miguel is bringing up. Impeachment. Who here knows what is an impeachment? Miguel, you cannot speak on this one.
I think it's like a removal of a political figure of its charge. If if it's word the same way in Venezuela, but I think it's like that. Sorry.
Yeah, indeed. But it's not. It doesn't apply to any political figure, only to the president. The impeachment is indeed a process you can use to depose a president in the USA. An impeachment is conducted by either the Senate or the House of Representatives. And in the end, it's like a political trial. If you didn't do a good job, then you're out, basically.
Oh.
So in Venezuela, we don't have that. We have the referendum revocatorio, but that works better for the Americans, clearly. Let's see what follows. Who can read this one?
I can read. The country politics. Yeah. The country politics has long been run by many families. As is publicly known, the United States have had many famous political families: Kennedy, Clinton, Bush, Adams, Roosevelt, to name a few. This doesn't apply exclusively to national politics, since since public local public life tends to be a family issue with microchips, commonly
Hold.
commonly held by the same families, and political exercise being an activity which passed by generation to generation.
So, what is your opinion about this? Do you think politics in the United States is a family business, or do you have another opinion in your mind? Go ahead.
Well, I think that there's a lot of, as it says, there's a lot of family that got involved in politics, but it is, I think it could be common, but not necessarily is the general rule, because there exists nowadays a strong in political individuals that not doesn't necessarily achieve arrive to the power because he was known or she was known by his family or by her family. So I think that is not a general rule.
Right? Anyone else?
Uh, it is very different to here because, for example, here with the flores everywhere in the Congress, it's like it says it's like, you know, in a way when you and you have a brother as a cousin share interests and stuff, and sometimes it just I think that those families are necessary wanting to have a family business, even though they obviously make advantage of it. It's just not trying. I don't know. I have faith that it's not asked for that.
All right. Anyone else wants to speak, or we move on to the next slide? I'm taking that as a yes, we're moving on. So, this, as I said, was the situation previously when I created the chat. In 2016, an election for the presidency was held. Also, Americans choose members for the House of Representatives. Now, these were the main figures running for the presidency: Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, this guy who is also a Bush, by the way, Ted Bush. And we also had another quite irregular candidate named Bernie Sanders. Now, as you all know, Trump won that election. It was quite, let's say controversial, because he didn't won with the majority of the popular vote, but he did win. He did won with the majority of the votes from the colleagues that basically are the ones who vote for the presidency. Now, I would like to know, many of you said that you essentially agree that Trump wasn't the one to be president. In the situation of that election, I believe someone already answered this by saying she will vote for Hillary Clinton, but for which one of these candidates would you have voted on that moment?
Who is the other guy?
By Bush? Really?
No.
Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders?
Oh my God!
No, Bernie
He's
Sanders y Chavista.
I mean, I didn't even know that he was a candidate.
So Maria Veronica wants to vote for a leftist socialist in the United States.
Yes, she's
Yes,
she's from the
how do you say patria?
Good Lord. I don't know this. I don't think that's a good idea. Diana, what do you say? What do you think about it? Will you have vote for?
I don't know, because boxing equally bad, so I don't know.
So the candidates. So the candidates are so.
I will vote. Oh,
What?
Say. Talk.
So the candidates were so terrible that Diana wouldn't vote. Basically, that is what you're saying.
Exactly. I don't know. I think I probably vote for, I don't know, Hillary, maybe. I don't know.
I will vote for Hillary just because she's a woman.
No, not because she's a woman. No, for that reason.
I am a feminazi too. I don't know. It's very hard. I mean,
Exactly,
I'm
it's very hard,
glad.
and especially because she wanted the people vote for her because she's a woman, and that's not a good reason, you know. It's like no.
All
But
At
right.
least
what
she's less
will be your
controversial
what
than
will
Trump.
be your
It's
Trump
not a good
choice?
is.
reason for being a president.
Hold on,
Oh
Mariana,
my god.
Daniel is
what
trying
will
to say something.
okay, Mariana, what will be your choice? Your choice.
Which one would I have chose?
What will be your choice? Your
What would be
choice.
my choice? All right, which one I vote for? Well, you want to know what? I would have voted by Hillary Clinton. Yes, I would have give her.
Yeah.
She was the lesser evil, according to my opinion. There, I mean, between Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, Bush again, she, my by God's sakes, there that is not a choice. In any case, let's continue with this one. In popular culture, who can read?
I can read.
So Washington D.C.
Sorry.
Can I read?
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
keep going on.
Okay. Many shows on TV have looked of Washington D.C. to tell history. With plenty of different focuses, some of them darker and some others more hoping, the reality of the American politics has been reflected on the popular culture.
All right, guys. Tell me something. Do you know any show or movie that has reflected the American politics? This is the
Yes,
moment for you. Go
House of
ahead.
Cards.
Yes, that is a damn good show for this.
Yes, it is.
Please explain that.
Well, it is a show that right now is having like little problems because of
Oh
the
my god.
because of the main road, but it's an amazing show because it shows the best but most the worst part of the American policy, the American politics. But I think it's amazing, especially there's a lot of politics that are related to the Senate and to the Congress.
Very well. As Miguel said, well, you have it here in the slide I just put. House of Cards is probably the darkest of all the TV series that are based in Washington D.C. and the politics of the United States. It follows the rise of a Machiavellic congressman who basically believes in doing what it takes in order to become the most powerful person in the USA. And yes, it's quite dark. The guy commits murder. He punish, threats, lies, betrays, causes wars for no reason, and many other things. Even he even managed to steal an election. That far he goes. Any
Oh, he's
other?
like Chavez.
Oh, darling, Chavez was a sweetie compared to this guy. Really, he was.
Chavez killed someone.
Well,
Oh,
Chavez killed.
he didn't create, and he created the economic war. So
Well, yeah, you have a point. Chavez is worse. His.
yeah,
Yeah, you have a point.
yeah.
All right. Any other show, movie, TV show you know about American politics? Any more?
No,
No
I
one.
actually watch geek shows. So
You really need to, I don't know, see more TV. Let's talk about The West Wing. Someone can read this about this show?
One of the most acclaimed TV political series of all time in the USA. The show was about a democratic administration led by President Josiah Bartlet, played by Martin Sheen. The series showed the daily life of the president's staff and his many duties in the West Wing, the place of the White House, where the Oval Office is located. Was originally broadcast by the NBC and last 7 seasons.
This was actually the first TV show who broadcast any type of matter related with politics in Washington. Unlike House of Cards, this show was actually quite hoping, quite positive. The president was portrayed like this figure full of charisma and determination to get a better nation for everyone. Soon, many people said that is a great lie and that doesn't happen. So it had a lot of
Exactly.
critics, but it was a show that lasts, as you can see, 7 seasons. It was a long-standing show. Let's see this other one about a woman. Someone wants to, a woman, sorry. Someone wants to read about it.
Commander-in-Chief. Broadcast by ABC, Commander-in-Chief is a TV series which sells an improbable presidency. Since it's about a woman taking the Oval Office and with no connections with the two major political parties in the country. Jenna Davis served as the protagonist of the series. President Mackenzie Allen. The series lasts 2 seasons.
So,
2005, 26.
thank you. So yes, Commander-in-Chief was a TV series who focused on this crazy idea. An independent politician with no ties with any of the great political parties, meaning no ties with the Democrats and no ties with the Republicans, taking over the office and running the country despite being a woman. That is what the series is about. It was a really nice series, by the way. It won a lot of awards, was highly rewarded. The thing is that unfortunately it didn't got so much rating and therefore was eventually cancelled. So
Actually, it looks a little bit lacking on plot. That it looks boring. I wouldn't watch. Even from the title, it's like really like.
So Maria Veronica definitely is not standing for a series where a woman is president.
No, but a good series that looks crappy. I mean, just the title, the way the woman is posing, the plot is terrible also. I don't know. I don't figure or amazing action can come out of it, so it was bad. No,
Alright.
I have my image in it. I didn't realize that. You feel
Alright.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'll stop sharing the screenplay because we already finished with the presentation. Yet, I still have a couple of questions for you guys before we go. You okay?
Okay.
She's dying.
Please drink a glass of water. You could be dying.
My
Se rían
God.
de él.
No, my
Are you okay? Should we be concerned?
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
she's making me laugh.
All right. So there are a lot of things that we heard about the USA policy politics, mainly because I don't know. We can say it's a nation that somehow influence other nations because it's the United States of America. But I would like to hear your opinion about what do you feel take something good from our national politics. I know there's not much to choose, but try and taste and tell me something you would change, you will take from the United States and try to implement it here.
It could be anything.
Well,
That's
that
a
is a
very
wide open
difficult
answer.
question. I don't know.
Okay.
What? I couldn't hear you, Diana.
Well,
Sorry.
well,
That's a difficult question. I don't know what to say. There's not a
Think.
good. Mm,
So, what would you take from the United States politics and apply it here? And tell me why.
I will take from the United States politics the respect that they have for the institutions and the absolute respect of the division of powers.
Yes,
There exists a huge respect for institutions, and here in Venezuela, that respect doesn't exist. The main power is condensed in the president and his military forces. And if in Venezuela we take the example of the United States, of other countries
yes.
in the matter of the respect of institutions, I think that this will be completely different. It will be a different country, and maybe we could see a possible change, a political and social change.
I saw the same that I can see they have like a really divide powers, but here is like yes, we have powers, but we all know that the president that this is a disorder, and finally the president decides everything because her um, military uh, power, he controlled the electoral. How can I say the electoral power?
Well, the thing is, well, let me, by the way, take this as a chance to explain you this. When you refer to the powers, which I'm sure you are talking about the justice, the presidency, the parliament, you actually should call it branches. Branches is the official way in English to speak about the division of powers in a republic, right? The legislative branch, the executive branch, the justice branch, and that goes
Okay.
branches.
How
I
can
didn't
I
know that.
spell
Thank you.
that word? How can I spell that word?
Hold on. Let me write it. Hold on.
oh, it's like a tree branch.
Branch. Here it goes.
Yeah,
And
that's like tree branch.
and about what you are saying, the thing is, Daniela, that the word branch applies is or well comes from the original theory of the separation of the power in a republic. And back in that theory, if you recall, there were only three branches: justice, presidency, and parliament. So there is not such a thing in English to speak about the electoral power.
Okay.
But we have that in Venezuela. So the elections are held and are organized by an institution which is also a branch. You could say easily electoral power because there is no other word to speak about it, but take that in consideration just for you to get that clear. What the hell?
Ah, sorry.
Really? I'm speaking about something serious here.
Mariano, Mariano, did you check
I
the word?
what?
What? Branch.
Did you write it?
Yeah, I write it down in the chat.
Let me check.
Uh,
I don't see it.
really?
I can see it.
You
I
you
can.
have to click the chat thing.
Chat thing.
Yes, I clicked the chat, but I didn't see it.
Yes, but you didn't send it.
It says chat and it's blue. The left corner.
In the left corner, up in the left corner.
Yeah. And there's a message of me saying Oli.
Oli,
And
running mate, and branch. Those are the words we use on this chat club.
yeah.
A highly instructive chat club. In vocabulary, of course. Anyone else who wants to express what they would take from the USA and put it to work here, or anyone else wants to speak about it?
I think it's easier to just set the things we want to stay and throw away everything else.
Wow, how pessimistic.
Okay, sorry.
Really?
But I actually feel like politically uh, we have like all the institutions, but we don't respect the law. We don't respect what institution. Uh, I don't know. We have a lot of I don't know how can I say violations, but
Violation.
violations,
Yeah,
right?
violations.
We have a lot of violations, but if you actually read the constitution and all different laws in Venezuela, you realize that they picture a different country with many opportunities and it's beautiful, but in the reality you don't see that. You see that, for example, the president does what he wants because he have a Congress that and nobody knows how he got and in the end I think that structurally we are okay, but we don't things into practice. We are theoretically okay, but not in practice. I don't know if I'm making a point here, but
Actually, you are, and quite the hell of a point.
How can I say anarchia in
Anarchy.
English?
Anarchy.
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 Well, I think that that the powers here have no really authority, because when we think about who has the power, we think in the enchufados, in the only a little group of people. Um, so um, the other powers don't really exist here.
Yeah, well, a lot of people share that opinion, actually. You're not alone on that corner. I mean, a lot of people that I'm talking about, people who actually have like 4 degrees from different colleges and are actually analyzing things here. Well, that kind of people. So, yep, you're not the only one thinking that.
and I think that what is worse in Venezuela is that, for example, people that are well prepared, that know about law, about politics, they don't don't really want to 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 enter in a party because everything is so corrupted, everything is so badly um uh, I don't know how to say that, but everything is so badly run that any people that actually want to make a change uh, don't have the power to do it. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
Yeah, it's still making sense.
Yes, I get it.
So,
um,
actually, if you ask me what I would take from the United States, it would be the idea. I think it will be the culture in general, the political culture, because
yeah,
there's the reason why we have laws but they don't work. We have institutions but they don't work, and we have a tiny little group of people running this country like it was, I don't know, a store in the corner. It's basically because we as a country lack of that political culture. In the USA, it's normal to have debates, it's normal for the people to inquire about the government planning, and it's normal for the people to get to know the government's actions and to get involved. I think that is something we don't have in Venezuela, and basically that is what I would take from there and try to see if it's applicable here.
Yes, but sometimes people don't want to know about it because it's something sad, it's something eh, decepcionante. How can I say decepcionante in English?
Disappointing.
Disappointing.
Yeah, well, that
that is also that Venezuelan people tend to live like uh, for surviving. How to say it better, but to think long term. And for example, you see all the major issues in Venezuela are that because, for example, teen pregnancy, I don't know, bad political choices, bad economical choices, all are made because we aren't able as a culture to see long term on the things. We just see like a solution for this problem and next day out. And I think that culture that they don't have in United States. In United States they have to since the beginning that they figured out how everything was going to work and they stuck to it and it was very good.
well, yeah, I guess that it's another problem we have. So, guys, anyone else who wants to share something? We are already closing the chat club, so this is pretty much the last time you have to speak or say something. Nothing? Really? What a way to kill the magic. Really.
We love you.
Nah, well, I don't love you. Anyway,
Ah, oh my god. Oh my god, I was rejected.
no, I don't love any of you. It wasn't personal, it was for everyone. Uh,
Okay.
anyway, just a couple of infos, guys. You will be receiving the form for this chat by tomorrow because my internet probably won't allow me to create it now. But you will be receiving that for tomorrow morning. Second, please send me your emails via WhatsApp because I don't have them all on WhatsApp. I don't know why. So send them all. The ones are missing. And that would be all. I hope you have
How do I know if I'm missing?
No, you're not missing. You are one of the people. You're one of the ones who sent it. I have Bianca, you, Maria Veronica, and Cioris. I have those three emails. all of the others, I don't have your emails, so please send them to the chat group in WhatsApp, and I will send you the Google form. Also, you will be getting the confirmation of this chat probably by, I don't know, December 15th, something like that, because, well, AVAA is working hard in updating the set. So let's be patient with them. That will be all, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, Mariana.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for the chat. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.